Eights. I've always been a man who gives credit where credit is due. And last week, Aces and Eights, you pulled out all the stops. You called in the cavalry, 20-some plus men, to create a diversion. You had 6 men single me out in this ring and smash my arm. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to what would happen after my arm was smashed with that steel chair. People have been asking me, Austin Aries, are you going to have to relinquish the World Heavyweight Championship? Are you going to have to forfeit it because you cannot compete? We see Aces and Eights, you made 2 miscalculations last week. You see, I have not been medically cleared to wrestle here tonight. But you see, I don't need to be medically cleared to fight. Miscalculation number 2 was this. I'm left-handed. You injured my right hand. I punch people with my left hand. So here's what I'm saying. I'm standing in the middle of this ring all by myself, the World Heavyweight Champion, the guy that has an X and a mark right on his forehead. It's real obvious to me this is what you want. Well, if that's what you want, it's sitting right here. I'm sitting right here. So tonight, I want whoever's behind this to step in this ring and fight me.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Ferran Derry.
Sit down, shut up, and listen up.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Ferran Derry here with you. Taking a little bit of a look at TNA, of course, in the opening of Impact this past Thursday. Austin Aries calling out Aces and Eight to fight. And, of course, instead of getting Aces and Eights, well, he gets Hogan and Sting to come out with a couple of baseball bats to help provide some backup. But meanwhile, the Renegade group continuing to do things on their terms. It wasn't until the end of the night where they did send one big guy out, and then next thing you know, another mini brawl ensues that leaves Aries alone in the ring with a couple of the guys from Aces and Eights and ends up getting hit in the back of the head with a slapjack. Yeah, remember those? Gotta love that term, slapjack. So, yeah, we'll see where Aries goes as we're only a week and a day away from No Surrender and no matches yet announced for the No Surrender pay-per-view. Of course, we know that there will be the Bound for Glory semifinals and finals. We're determining who the top 4 are and a quick look at the series standings before we get back to the phones. Of course, the Pope, D'Angelo Gennaro, he's out with the injury, and he only had 7 points anyway. Robbie E., he's wrestled all his matches. He's out of the running with 12 points. Magnus is eliminated, as is Daniels. And Anderson just outside the cusp there, of course, at 47 points. Kurt Angle with 48. He's done. It looks like he's out of it. Jeff Hardy, he has one match at hand this coming Thursday against Samoa Joe. He's right now in 6th place with 49 points. AJ Styles holding at 50. In 5th place, it looks like he's out of it. Bully Ray and Rob Van Dam are tied for 3rd place with 55 points. Samoa Joe, of course, has 68 in 2nd place. And James Storm, he's right now the leader in the clubhouse with 73 points. But, again, 2 matches left, and they're going to be this Thursday on Impact. Jeff Hardy against Samoa Joe and Bully Ray against Rob Van Dam. So, obviously, Bully Ray and RVD, whoever wins that, they'll spring ahead. Even if either of them get a submission win, it'll keep them at best in the top 4, and it depends on what Jeff Hardy does. If Hardy loses to Samoa Joe, he's out of that top 4, and it's going to be between Storm, Samoa Joe, RVD, and Bully Ray. If Hardy wins, well, it depends on what happens between Rob Van Dam and Bully Ray. At that point, a 7-point win for Hardy, a pinfall win that would put him at 56 points, and that would put him in 4th place ahead of the loser between Rob Van Dam and Bully Ray. So there are a few possible scenarios, and we'll go over more of that next week, of course, as a No Surrender preview here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Let's go ahead and get back to the phones. We've got Joe from Trenton who's been hanging on. Joe, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Hey, Ferran, first of all, it's a pleasure to be on your show. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to have you aboard.
All right, I just got a few quick things. I know you're up against, baseball or something like that.
High school football starting up.
Okay.
First weekend of it.
All right, well, first of all, AJ Lee was not one of my favorite people, but the fact that she pummeled, screeching Vicky Guerrero, she's now at the top of my list, is one of my favorite people of all time. Okay, and that being said, Josh Matthews, okay, the fact that he's getting tossed around by Kane the last couple weeks, WrestleMania, I think it was, and then at SmackDown, I loved it. If they could do that every single week, I'll watch Josh Matthews all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not exactly one of my favorites. I don't really think he's that entertaining, you know what I mean? He just kind of shows up, but the fact that he got tossed around at WrestleMania, I guess, I don't know, like 50 feet across, that was the best.
Interesting. Not a lot of love for Vicky or Josh Matthews.
No, not at all. And just a comment about TNA. First of all, I don't think they have any idea who it's going to be, like you said. Second of all, why wouldn't they take off the mask? That's one of the at least take off the mask of some bum, some job, or whoever it was. Even if the guy was nobody. Just make it look like it could have been something, just to try to throw people off. Now, they got like 50 people coming out beating up the same guys every week. I guarantee you when they finally have a payoff for this, which will probably be like another 5 years, it'll probably be like 3 people. That's it. And all those people that keep coming out like that big guy, you probably won't have anything to do with it. It'll be just 3 people. And I'm guessing Hogan's still, I don't care what anybody says, Hogan is behind this in one form or the other. I can guarantee you that.
Interesting analysis, and as you said, we're probably a long way away from getting that reveal. I don't know, we might be celebrating Hogan's 60th before that happens.
That's a possibility. All right, Fran, I'll take care.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the call. Thanks for coming on here. Let's go to, we've got Ken on the line here. Is this the infamous Captain Ken?
Yeah, I got a couple of problems here trying to get down to the shore communities. This should make a way along southbound 413 to the Burlington-Bristol Bridge, over to the area of 130. Heavy activity at the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge out along 73. Heavy activity south on 95 as you make your way just south of the area of the Betsy Ross down to the Walt Whitman. Heavy activity for those that are traveling in towards Center City, Philadelphia due to the Made in America celebration. Also, traffic hassles trying to get up to the Poconos. On the northbound side of the Northeast Extension, heavy activity down to the Delaware Beach communities along the Route 1 corridor coming off 95 and to and from the New Jersey Turnpike to the Delaware Memorial Bridge, or northbound for the PA Turnpike connector up into the area of Hightstown. Keep in mind, for those that are traveling in Bucks County, Jacksonville Road is closed at Cyane Circle as a result of construction in Northampton Township, replacing a water main break. Extra train and shuttle service has been added from the Band Music Center to help heighten the overload of the anticipation of the overflow to crowds for the big celebration downtown. Also, watch out for some traffic hassles out on Oxford Valley Road as you make your way to and from I-95 and the old Lincoln Highway as a result of a lot of folks attending Sesame Place. The WWE returns to Philadelphia with SmackDown on Tuesday, September 18th, live from the Wells Fargo Center. Don't miss all your favorite SmackDown superstars in action, including Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Alberto Del Rio, and a special appearance by WWE COO Triple H. Instead of buying tickets, how would you like to win a family 4-pack? I got them for you now, a $200 value. Just be my first caller and tell me another artist in the WWE at 1-877-ROAD-TIP. 877-ROADTIP, and you got yourself a family 4-pack to WWE Tuesday, September 18th, SmackDown at the Wells Fargo Center. From the Traffic Tips Radio Network, Captain Ken, 1490 AM WBCP.
Thank you so much, Captain Ken Fortner. Greatly appreciate it, and appreciate the gift to the listeners there. I'm sure they're out there clamoring away for that family 4-pack for a couple of weeks from now. 2.5 weeks. Of course, the SmackDown taping coming up in the middle of September down at the Wells Fargo Center. Greatly appreciate it, Ken. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take care of our second bit of business, and then we'll come back to Steve. We'll have room for you as well. Of course, we're off the air at 12:45 today because of high school football. It's coming up in about 10 minutes. So we'll come back today in wrestling history, some news and notes. We'll get Steve on the line, room for you as well. A lot to do still here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.